Hello PowerFam. Today's power topic is turning effects of forces and calculating moments. These are some examples of forces that cause an object to turn. When you push down the door handle, what happens? The door handle turns. When you push down on the pedal of a bicycle, the crank arm turns. And when you pull a door, the door turns toward you. The object that turns is called a lever. The point around which the lever turns is called the pivot. As you bend your arm, the arm acts like a lever and the elbow is the pivot. Moments. What is a moment? The moment of a force describes the turning effect of a force. The moment of a force depends on the force size and the distance between where the force acts and the pivot. The bigger the force equals the bigger the moment, and greater the distance between the position where the force acts and the pivot equals greater the moment. Also, you can calculate a moment from this equation. Force multiply distance. As you know, the unit for force is Newton, and the unit for distance is meter. So what is the unit of moment? When Newton times meter, you'll get Newton meter, or simply Nm. But don't forget that your N must be capital and M must be in lowercase. Before we move on to exercises, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Let's move on to our question. A pulling force of 35 Newton is needed to open a door. The distance from the door handle to the door hinges, which is the pivot, is 0.6 meters. So the important numbers are bolded here. And now we have to find out what is the moment caused by the pull on the door. You can feel free to pause the video to answer this question. So as you know, to calculate moment, we need to multiply force and distance. So what is the force here? The force here is 35 Newton and the distance here is 0.6 meters. So we multiply it and we'll get 21. But we still aren't done yet. We haven't write our unit. So what is the unit for moment? It is Newton meter. So this is our answer. The moment caused by the pull on the door is 21 Newton meter. Let's move on to our second question. Sarah weighs 600 Newton and sits at a distance of 2 meters from the pivot of a seesaw. Aisha weighs 800 Newton. So where should Aisha sit to make sure the seesaw is balanced? The answer is, so first we need to find out how much moment will Sarah exert. So as you know that we need to multiply the force by the distance to get the moment. So in order for the seesaw to be balanced, the moment on the other side must also be 1200 Newton meter. And to find out the moment, we need to times force and distance. So if we want to find out the distance, we need to divide moment and force. So it's the opposite operation. So what is the moment here? The moment is 1200 Newton meter and we need to find out the distance for where should Aisha sit. So the force is 800 Newton. And now, so what will we get? What's the answer? The answer is 1.5. 1.5 meters. So don't forget the unit. So we divide the moment and the force to get our distance. So Aisha should sit 1.5 meters away from the pivot of the seesaw. For the next question, the drawing here shows a bicycle brake lever. A moment of 1.8 Newton meter is needed to turn this brake lever. Calculate the force F needed to produce a moment of 1.8 Newton meter. The answer, so we need to find the force. Do you still remember? To find out the moment, we need to multiply force and distance. So to find out force, we need to divide moment and distance. So what is the moment here? They have given the moment, which is 1.8 Newton meter, and the distance is actually given in the picture. Can you find where? So here they have clearly stated where's the pivot. This is the pivot. So the distance from the pivot to where the force is being acted is 0.09 meter, which is 9 centimeter, but we use the unit meters here. So the distance is 0.09 meter. So now we divide and we'll get 20. So what unit must be here? I'll leave it for you guys to comment down the answer below. Thank you very much. Please support our channel by subscribing. And if you have learned something new, please like the video and share with your friends. Also, if you have any questions, you can comment down below and I'll reply you within 24 hours.